All right, well, good afternoon and welcome to the session on Salesforce Knowledge. My name is Amy Harbin. I am a certified Salesforce Advanced Administrator. I work in the UK office. You may have picked up, I'm actually American. I am the token American that they make fun of. And I am ably assisted by my friend Christina Major, who will be helping me out with this session. All right, well, let's get started. Next one. This is our safe harbor statement. You're probably quite familiar with it now. So all I'm going to say is we might be talking about forward-looking statements during this session. Please base your buying decisions on what's actually in the product right now in your edition. If you want to see our full safe harbor statement, you of course can go to our website and read it at any time. So we've provided training orgs for everyone for this session. So if you want to get logged in now, that would be great because we've got 3 really great hands-on sessions. So if you don't mind putting the slide back up first. Could you put the slide up for a second? Great. So your username is admin@df09 knowledge2 followed by a 3-digit number. And the 3-digit number is actually on your computer station. .com. Your password is password1. All lowercase password and the number 1. I've got some of my colleagues walking around the room. If you're having any issues with getting logged in, please just raise your hand and one of them will come over and assist you. We've got one over here. So again, the username is admin@df09 knowledge2 followed by a 3-digit number .com and the password is password1. Go ahead and get logged in now, and we'll be all ready when we're ready to start our first exercise. The password is password followed by the number 1, all lowercase. Okay. Any issues, just raise your hand. One of my colleagues will come over and help you. It is admin@df09 knowledge2 followed by a 3-digit number that you'll find on your computer station .com and the password is password1. All right. Okay. So everyone's getting logged in. Let's talk about what we're going to cover in today's session. So this is our agenda. We're going to start off with an overview of Knowledge. Knowledge is a new product, so we'll find out exactly what it can do for you in your call center, make you more efficient. We're going to talk about article types and data categories and how they're going to help you build and organize your knowledge base. We're going to follow that up with 3 hands-on exercises. In the first exercise, we're going to look at what system administrators are going to need to do to get your system up and running. So what they have to do to set up Knowledge for your users. After that, we're going to look at a second exercise where a knowledge manager, who could be your system administrator, who might not be your system administrator, what they're going to need to do in order to set up your articles. So how to create articles for your knowledge base, how to review them, how to assign them out to other people to collaborate on them, and then eventually how to publish them and eventually possibly archive them. Our third hands-on exercise, we're going to get a chance to see how knowledge works from an agent standpoint. So how do I actually use the knowledge base? We'll get a chance to search for articles that will help us resolve our cases in order to get the answers to our customer queries. Okay. I do need to tell you one thing. As you're logging in, you'll probably see where it says welcome and it says Universal Travel. That's the fictitious company that we're using in our scenario. They have been using Salesforce for a while. And in order to improve customer service, they wanted to implement Salesforce Knowledge. So they're going to do that to allow their agents to search the knowledge base for answers to customer queries. What they also want to do is they want to expand out their knowledge base to their corporate website so that customers can go in and serve themselves, allowing them to save some money in the cost of running their call center. All right? All right. At the end, you may have some questions, and I will be happy to answer any questions at the end. If you have questions during the session, if you don't mind holding them till the end, one of my colleagues will bring around a microphone, and I'll be happy to answer questions then. Are you ready to get started? Good. All right, let's go. So let's talk about Salesforce Knowledge. As you probably know, it is a new offering. It is a new, powerful knowledge base as part of our Service Cloud offering. It was just released a couple weeks ago, so we're all really excited about this this new application. And it's meant to get the right answers to the right people the first time, every single time. And when we talk about the right people, who are we talking about? Well, ultimately the customer. Now, that's whether the customer is self-serving themselves through a customer portal, or if they're calling into a call center in order to speak to an agent to help resolve their issue. So when we talk about every channel, we're talking about agents within your organization. We're talking about customers through a customer portal, but we could even expand our knowledge base out to our public website, so even non-customers could look at it, or customers we're not familiar with can look at it. All right? And it provides great targeted searches. And I'll talk a little bit more about how we get the right answer the first time around. This graphic is kind of a funny one. From the back, you probably can't tell what it is, but it's actually a haystack. And it's meant to help us illustrate the point of sometimes finding the right answer in traditional knowledge bases can be looking for a needle in a haystack. With Salesforce Knowledge, what we have is this concept of data categories. And data categories are easy to set up, created by you, and they give a business context to allow your users to filter their search results. So they do find that answer the first time around. All right. Now, a lot of times I've used knowledge bases. How many of you have used a knowledge base before? Okay. A lot of that, wow, that's a lot. A lot of times they're just clogged and cluttered with irrelevant data that no one ever reads. And even if they could find it in the first place. So what Salesforce allows you to do is to have these data categories so you can hone in on exactly the answer that you're looking for. One of the great features is that we allow people who view knowledge base articles to rate the articles. So the same way that if I went out to Amazon and I liked a product, I could rate it really high, or if I didn't like a product, I could rate it really low. Then, as a user, I can go in and view my search results, and the ones that have the highest rating are probably going to be the ones that I look at first. So we're empowering the experience of the crowd within our knowledge base. All right, well, let's talk about what's going to make up your knowledge base. Your knowledge base is going to be filled with articles. Okay? And articles are typically short HTML documents, and they can contain text, graphics and pictures, hyperlinks, even video, all sorts of great things to enable your users to serve themselves or to help your agents. Article types is something that we're going to create in our first hands-on exercise. What article types allow you to do is to have a very unique layout depending on the type of article that you're presenting. So in our travel scenario, we might have an article for travel alerts. Okay? Apparently there was some sort of travel alert going on at SFO yesterday. Air traffic control had a problem. Those are going to be really short articles, aren't they? They're just going to be the basic knowledge right there. And you can have a unique layout and custom fields for that type of article. But what about something like a destination guide? That's going to be a much longer article. It's probably going to have different sections of information, unique fields to that type of article. And that's one of the great things about Salesforce Knowledge, having these different types of articles and being able to track custom information or specific information to that type of article. All right? All right, well, let's talk about data categories, because here is where the power of Salesforce Knowledge resides. As a knowledge manager, when I create articles to go into my knowledge base, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign data categories, any that apply, all the relevant data categories. And what this is going to allow me to do is my users, whether my customers or my agents, when they run a search, they can filter on these data categories. So for example, let's say that I'm an agent in my call center at Universal Travel. We service both business travelers as well as personal travelers. Now, I only service the business travelers. So when I run a search, I don't want to see articles having to do with personal travelers. It's not relevant to me. So when I run my search, I'm going to be limited to articles only having to do with business travel. I can further refine my results by, say, a destination, such as Italy, and that's going to narrow the scope of my search. At this point, I'm only seeing articles that have those data categories. I can further narrow my search by another topic or category, such as a topic. Maybe I only want to see areas that have conference centers. And that's, again, refining my results so that I'm not being presented with hundreds of articles to sift through. I can see the ones that just apply to me. All right, let's talk user access. So as an administrator or a knowledge manager, I need to enable all of my users access to the knowledge application. I can also create a custom profile for my knowledge manager because he or she is going to need to have special access in order to start creating articles, publishing articles, so on and so forth. So some of the things that we need to do just to get the system set up. And we're going to do that in our first hands-on exercise. All right, so let's move on to our first hands-on exercise. We're going to do a couple things here. So these are some of the admin tasks that need to be carried out in order to get your users using Salesforce Knowledge. So number one, what we're going to do is we're going to create a custom profile. A custom profile is going to be for our knowledge manager. And we want to give our knowledge manager, Carol, access to a unique workspace where she can do all sorts of great things around knowledge. What we're going to do is we're going to create the profile, and then we're going to go into the user record and assign her that profile. We're also going to ensure that she has access to the knowledge application. You will need to do this for all of your users to grant them access to the knowledge application. Then what we're going to do is we're going to create a new article type. So I want to start creating articles having to do with the deals or the specials that we're offering our customers. So I'm going to create a new article type called deals. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new data category. And some feedback that I've gotten from my team is that they want to refine their searches to find articles about cruises. So we want to create that data category to allow them to filter their searches just on cruises. All right, well, let's go into the application. We're going to do this together. You do have the exercise details in one of the handouts, so I'll be walking you through it, but if you want, you can always double check in the handout that you have. So we're going to create a custom profile. So how many of you are system administrators? So quite a few. This is not going to be terribly new information, creating new profiles, so you guys can breeze through this no problem. Let's go to Setup at the top of the screen. Down the left-hand side on our sidebar, in the bottom section that Christina is conveniently highlighting on the screen, I want you to go into Manage Users. So I want you to click the plus sign next to Manage Users. When that expands a submenu, I want you to click on Profiles. Okay. Now we have an existing profile for all the people that work in our documentation team, and that's where our knowledge manager has been residing. She's been having the profile of the documentation team, but we want to give her a custom profile. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the documentation team profile as a starting point for our new custom profile. So let's click on the documentation team profile. And there is a nice clone button at the top of that screen. So let's click the clone button, and it's going to prompt us for a name for our new profile. And we're going to put in Knowledge Manager. So type in Knowledge Manager and click the Save button. All right. Well, now we need to edit it, because right now it's just a complete copy of the documentation profile. So we're going to click the Edit button. And for those of you who aren't as familiar at creating profiles, your profile's got a lot of different sections defining what a user is able to do. The first thing I want you to do is go down into the Administrative Permissions section. It's about the fourth section down. And you're going to have 2 columns of permissions, and we're going to enable 4 different permissions. So I'm going to walk through each one now. The first one is to manage Salesforce Knowledge, and it's going to be in your right-hand column. Manage Salesforce Knowledge. Put a check mark right there. The other one is going to be in the left-hand column, and that is to manage data categories. Please make sure you choose Manage Data Categories. Okay. Christina's got it highlighted on the screen right now. Manage Data Categories. Okay. Now, because the Knowledge Manager, we want at Universal Travel, our Knowledge Manager, to have the ability to create these custom layouts and add custom fields to our article types, we are also going to give her the ability to customize the application. Doesn't mean you have to. For those of you who are system administrators, you could do this through your system administrator profile. But in our situation, we want to give our Knowledge Manager this access. So we need to make sure that we customize application. The final one is we want the ability to manage users. Okay? That checkbox is in the right-hand column. Christina's got it highlighted on the screen. So the 4 that we've checked are Manage Salesforce Knowledge, Manage Data Categories, Customize Application, and manage users. Once you've checked those 4 checkboxes, hit the Save button, please. Okay. So we've created our custom profile for our Knowledge Manager. What we need to now do is assign this new profile to our Knowledge Manager, and that's what we're going to do next. So from the sidebar, under that Manage Users menu, I want you to click on Manage Users. So our Knowledge Manager is already a Salesforce user, so we don't have to create her a user record, but we do need to edit it. Her name is Carol Nguyen, N-G-U-Y-E-N, Carol Nguyen. And Christina's got it highlighted on the screen now, and I would like you to click the Edit link next to Carol Nguyen's name, because we are going to edit her user record. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change her profile. So she used to be in the documentation profile. We're going to put her in our newly created Knowledge Manager profile. And we need to do one more thing. We need to confirm that she has access to the Knowledge application. And the way to do that is in the right-hand column, make sure she's marked as a Knowledge user. If you're not a Knowledge user, you won't have access. Okay? Once you've done that, hit the Save button. All right, now we're going to do one more thing. We're going to actually log in as Carol, okay? Now, I don't want you to hit the logout link. Don't do that. What we're going to do is we're going to use a feature available to us where we can, from this screen, log in as Carol so we can see what she could see. So from the Manage Users screen, where you're at, next to Carol's name, click the Login link. At the top of the screen, you'll see in great big red, bold, capital letters that you are now logged in as Carol Nguyen. So she needs to accomplish 2 things. First, she's going to create an article type, then a data category. So again, an article type allows us to have a customized template or page layout, including custom fields, for a particular type of article. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into Setup. Under App Setup on the left-hand side, we're going to click the Customize link. So click the plus sign next to Customize to expand out that screen. And under that, you will see Knowledge, and it's got a red little new icon next to it, so you can't miss it. So Setup, Customize, and Knowledge. Okay? And under that, you can click on Article Types. So we have some existing article types already in the system. We've got a unique layout and fields for advisories. We have a unique layout and fields for destination guides. And we're going to add a new one so that we can have a unique layout and fields for the deals or specials we're offering our customers. So let's click on New Article Type. And we have to give it a name. So in the label field, type in Deal. The plurals is probably fairly obvious. So deal in the label, deals in the plural. And the object name will automatically fill in, so you don't have to do anything different there. In the description, something along the lines of packages and specials for our customers. The deployment status, you can leave it as the default. These are test systems, so we don't mind it being in a deployed status. Okay? Once you've done that, hit Save. So we've created our article type, and it's taken us back to the screen. And I just want to explain what these 3 sections allow you to do. Now, the top section is everything we just defined. The label, gave it a description, so on and so forth. In the middle section, although we're not going to do it in this session, I do want to point it out. For all of you system administrators, creating custom fields and creating custom page layouts, that's what is available to you in that middle section. So for this article type, although we've created a couple standard fields, you can create your own custom fields and then determine the page layout. Okay? We're not going to do that right now. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the bottom section called Channel Displays. What this allows us to do is, depending on the channel that we're pushing this article type to, we can define the layout. So I'm going to talk a bit more about that. So under Channel Displays, the 3rd section, click the New button, please. edit. Sorry, edit. I meant to say edit. Click the edit button. Thank you, Christina. All right, now here are our choices. Depending on the channel that we want to present this article type to, we can decide how we want to lay out the screen. The first option is one that you're probably all very familiar with, a tabbed option. So the sections will show up as tabs across the top. Okay? The second option is a table of contents layout. So you'll have a left panel with all of your sections specified. Depending on which one is highlighted, you'll display the details to the right. Those are our two main options. We do have a third option for you developers. We do have the ability to use visual force pages to create really unique user experiences for this article type. Now, depending on which channel we're pushing the article type to, we can decide on the layout. So right now, our internal app, or our agents, would see it as a tabbed layout. So would our customers coming in through the customer portal. I want to have the same layout for all my channels. So I want you to change public knowledge base to a tabbed layout. So all three are going to see it the same way. Okay? Let's save that. We've now created our new article type for deals, which means as a knowledge manager or someone who participates in creating content for my organization, I can create a new deal article using that layout. Okay? And I could have created custom fields and had a custom layout, but I'm going to leave it as it is. Okay? So let's do a quick recap. Oh, no, we're not. We're not going to do a recap. We are first going to create a data category. Apologies. So the other thing we want to do as the knowledge manager is to create a new category which allows our users to filter their search results based on a category we specify. Now, data categories are going to be unique to your business, and they're very easy to create so that users can refine their searches based on what you would expect them to search on. So in order to create a data category, you're still going to be in Setup, you're still going to be in Customize. Down at the very bottom, right under Tags, you'll see Data Categories, and it also has the new icon next to it. Okay? So under the Customize, click on Data Categories. Now you'll see a pop-up asking if you would like to watch a tutorial. Well, I am your live tutorial, so you can just say OK to that. Okay? So you're in the Data Categories screen, and there's already some data categories in here. So let me just explain what this screen looks like. Down the left-hand side, you have your highest level of data categories. Okay? So ours are around products, customers, so on and so forth. If you click on one of those categories, such as products, which is what I'd like you to highlight right now, you will see all the categories below that. So under products, you'll see things like flights and hotels and so on and so forth. And you can create a great hierarchy here. You can have high-level categories and then children of those ones and grandchildren and so on and so forth. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a brand new data category for cruises, and we're going to do it at this highest level. So with products highlighted on the left pane, I want you to hover over the All at the very top of the list in the right side, and you'll see a pop-up button called Actions. Okay? Under Actions, choose Add Child Category. Okay? And it's pretty simple here. Type in cruises. Once you've typed in cruises, click the Add link, and that's added in that data category. Now we could continue to add more and more and more, but for now we just wanted to add a simple one. We wanted to add cruises. And this is going to allow our users to refine their searches on that particular data category. All right. Once you've added cruises, you do need to remember to hit the Save button. So right above it, hit Save. You will be prompted to say, are you sure you want to do this? Yes, you're sure. Proceed with Save. And that's our new data category. All right. Well, let's recap. So we created a custom profile for our knowledge manager. We edited the user record to give her that new profile. Then we created a new article type so that we can create articles about the deals that we offer our customers, which would have a unique layout, custom fields. And then what we did is we created a new data category called cruises. So far, so good? All right. Well, let's talk about the publishing process. So as a knowledge manager, I'm going to be overseeing the creation of new articles, and they're going to go through a publishing process. So very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the articles. I'm going to assign it an article type, which will define the layout, and I'm going to assign all the data categories that could possibly apply. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to collaborate with other people in my organization. I don't create all the article content. Graphics people put the pretty pictures in. Writers write all the fluffy pieces about them. So what I'm going to do is once I've created my article, I'm going to assign it to another user in my organization. I'm even going to give her a due date. The third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to determine which channels I want to deliver this content to. In this case, I'm going to make sure that my internal agents have access to it, but I also want to make sure my customers can see this if they go to my website and they look at the Knowledge site. Knowledge also provides some analytics, so I can see the most frequently or the highest rated articles available to me. I can also run reports to see which articles solved the most cases. That's going to help me prioritize my tasks when it comes to updating the articles in my knowledge base. The final thing is, well, where am I going to do all of this from? Well, as a knowledge manager, I have access to the Article Management tab, and it's a fantastic workspace to manage this entire process. So let's go to our second exercise. Now, in the previous exercise, it was something that a system administrator could or might possibly do. In this case, not necessarily a system administrator's ability, more of a knowledge manager, but of course we all know that could be a system administrator. So we are going to create a new article. We are going to assign all the data categories that apply, and then we're going to assign it out to another user, okay, so that they can collaborate with us. Then what we're going to do is we're going to review an article that has already been through our publishing process, and we're going to publish it to the knowledge base. Are you ready? Let's do exercise 2. So where we're going to do all this from is our Article Management tab. So click on the Article Management tab. Okay. And let me just explain the layout of the screen. Down the left-hand side, we've got the ability to filter or search for different articles, and we've got some different views. We can look at My Draft Articles. These are the ones that have been assigned to me or created by me. All draft articles are going to tell me all of the ones that are currently in the publishing process. I've got all published articles. I can see everything that's currently in my knowledge base. And I can even view archived knowledge items. There is also a keyword search. So if I'm looking for a specific article, I can use the keyword search. And below that, you're going to see a series of pick lists. And these match up to my data categories. So I can filter my searches on the data categories. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new article. So above the main pane, you'll see a series of buttons. The first one is New. Let's create a new article now. Very first thing you're going to get asked for is the article type. And in this case, we're going to create a destination guide. Okay. Let's choose destination guide as our article type. And then we have to give it a name. And this destination guide is going to be about Bora Bora cruises. So our article type is destination guide. The name of our article is Bora Bora Cruises. Let's hit OK. Okay. On the right-hand side is our ability to start to create our article. So the title's already going to be in there. If you click into the URL name, it'll also fill in. And in the abstract, we can give it a bit of a description here. Okay? So something along the lines of overview of Bora Bora Cruises and all the surrounding islands. Now below that, you're going to see different sections. So there's an overview section where you've got an editor here where you can put in text, links, graphics, so on and so forth. But that's not actually something that's part of my job. I'm going to collaborate with someone else to put all that stuff in. Part of my job, though, is to assign the appropriate data categories. And that's what we're going to do on the left-hand side. So you're going to see our highest level of data categories, and each one has an edit button just to the right of it. The first one we're going to do is we're going to assign a data category to this. So where it says products in the data category section, click the Edit button, please. And the data category that we are going to assign to this is the one we just created, which was cruises. So highlight cruises in the left-hand side, click the Add button, and it will be added to the right-hand side. And when you're done with that, click OK. So we've assigned this article the cruises data category. We're going to do a bit more here. We're also going to click the Edit link, or sorry, the Edit button under Customers. Now, let me show you a shortcut. When you're dealing with data categories and you want to select multiple ones, you can highlight the highest level, the All level, and that will select everything below it. So highlight All in the left-hand pane and click Add, and all of the subcategories will be added over to it. Go ahead and choose OK now. And looking back on the left-hand side, you can see the data categories that have been assigned. And you would want to assign all the data categories that could possibly apply. Okay? All right. Now we also need to decide who should see this article type. Okay? Which of our 3 channels? And you're going to see that towards the bottom of that left-hand side. And it's just a series of checkboxes. So if I want my internal agents to be able to have access to this article, and it's relevant to them, then I'm going to make sure that the internal app is checked. If I want to make sure that this is available at my customer portal, so through an authenticated portal, I'm going to check the customer portal box. And if I want to make sure it's available on my public knowledge base, anyone visiting my knowledge base on my public website, I'm going to check the last one. Go ahead and check all 3 of them. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we are going to save this article. Okay? Click the Save button. It's located in the upper left-hand corner. And that's all as the knowledge manager we have to do. We're going to pass it on to other people to start collaborating with us. So in the main window, you should see your Bora Bora Cruises article. And what I would like you to do is check the checkbox just to the left of it. And then I want you to hit the Assign button. We're going to assign this off to someone who works in our graphics team. Okay. First thing it's going to ask you is, well, who would you like to assign it to? And Mary is the person that we're going to assign it to. You've got a big text field where you can tell her what you want her to do. And I would like you to put in something like, please add graphics. And we can even select a due date, telling her when we want this completed by. If you click the calendar picker, you can select, say, the 27th of November. And choose OK. Now you'll notice immediately when you go back to My Draft Articles, it's no longer in your draft articles. It's now sitting in Mary's draft articles. So when she logs in tomorrow morning, she'll see what's been assigned to her, and she can begin to work on her article. Okay? So we've pushed that one over the fence. Now one thing that we want to do is we want to look at an existing article, one that's already been over to the graphics department, one that's already been over to our travel writers. And we want to preview it before we publish it out to our knowledge base. So from the My Draft Articles view, you should see an article on Italy. And we want to preview it. So where you see the Italy article, click the preview link. Okay. All right. You'll notice in our article that we've got 3 tabs of information. This was defined in our page layout. And it's containing things like beautiful pictures and graphics, hyperlinks and text that gives us more information about this particular destination. Okay? All right. Once we've looked through our article, if we're happy to publish it, you can close this browser window, because it opened in a second window. Back in the article management pane, we can put a check mark next to the article, and we can hit the Publish button. So I close down the article, back into my article management screen, check the box next to the Italy article, and hit Publish. All right. Now you've got 2 options. You can publish it now, or if this was something that is perhaps time sensitive, we can schedule the publication date. I'd like you to schedule the publication date, and I'd like you to schedule it for the 27th of November. Okay. you also have a checkbox to mark it as new. So if this is a new article, it's never been published before, you can mark this so it'll have a little icon next to it marking it as a new article. I'd like you to do that as well. Now, one thing I want to tell you, now, our knowledge manager is going to be on holiday. Apparently, it's Thanksgiving on the 27th or the day before. So she's going to be with her family, eating turkey, doing all sorts of fun things. She doesn't have to do anything else other than tell the system when she wants this to be published. It'll take care of it all. So on the 27th, this article will move from draft format into the published knowledge base. Let's hit OK. Now it's still staying in my draft articles, but it's got a little clock icon next to it. And if I hover over that clock icon, I'll see when it's going to be published. I don't have to do anything else to get it published. I've scheduled it. The system will take care of it for me. So far, so good. So we created a new article and we published another article. So let's recap. So we went in, we created a new article. We had to specify our article type, which defined our layout and the fields that we would have on the article. And then we assigned all the data categories. We specified which channels this would be relevant to. And then we also reviewed and published our article on Italy. Okay? All right. Well, let's carry on. Let's talk about search combinations. So when a user, whether it's a customer or an agent within your customer service department, is looking to search for articles, they have several abilities. One, they can do a keyword search, and that's kind of the traditional way we've always done searches. But they also have the ability to search and refine their searches or filter their searches with data categories. Now, what happens if you type something different than what the article is expecting? So, for example, someone's interested in finding out how to cancel reservations, but no one's going to necessarily type cancel reservations exactly how we would type it. They might put something in like canceling, rebooking, change. So one thing that we can do is, as a system administrator, we can create synonyms so that we can anticipate how people might want to search. I'll give you an example. I was searching through a knowledge base the other day, and I was interested in traveling back to the UK where I live. I typed in UK, and I got 0 results. Now, why? Because the knowledge base I was searching in, and it wasn't Salesforce knowledge, was naming everything England. It could have also named things Great Britain, and it wouldn't have found me any knowledge articles. With Salesforce knowledge, and this is a huge differentiator for us, we have the ability to create synonyms so we can anticipate how people might search. Everyone's different. They might want to search in a different way. So we can create those synonyms so we can make sure that the knowledge is still getting out to the people. All right? All right. Now, once I do my search, I can not only search on a keyword search, but I can also use data categories and article types to filter my search. So I can say, well, I don't want to search every type of article. I only want to search a destination guide, or I only want to search how-tos or FAQs. I can then also search using my data categories. So between the 3 of those, keyword searching and the ability to have synonyms, being able to search on an article type as well as data categories has helped me refine my search. So I could start off with thousands of articles and using those 3 different features, get down to the article that suits me the best. So let's not talk about it anymore. Let me actually show you how that works. So we're going to move on to our 3rd exercise. And here we're going to play the role of an agent working in Universal Travel's call center. And we want to use articles to help us resolve a customer issue. We've had a customer call in, and we've logged a case for a customer who doesn't know how their flight tickets are going to be delivered to them. So we want to use articles to resolve that issue. One thing that we're going to do is we're going to rate the article. After we find the article that's going to help us, we're going to rate its usefulness. That's going to benefit other users from our experience. We're going to then attach the article to the case, so that we can show that this article is indeed the one that helps us resolve the case. As a knowledge manager, I can run reports on that sort of information. I can see the most useful articles and the least useful articles. Finally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to customize, as a user, my view of articles so that I can include an additional field. Okay, so we're going to do all 4 of those. So let's jump into our 3rd exercise. And where we're going to go is the Cases tab. So a customer has called in, and they're interested to find out how their flight tickets are going to be delivered to them. So we've already created the case. From your view pick list, I'd like you to ensure that it reads all open cases, and then click the Go button. You've got a series of cases here. The case that you want is the one at the very bottom of the list, number 1013, regarding flight tickets. If you click on the case number, the case will come up. So case number 1013 regarding flight tickets. Now from the case, we have a related list for articles. This is our gateway into our knowledge base. In the articles related list, there is a button that reads Search Articles. I would like you to click the Search Articles button. This will take you to the Articles tab, and what you'll notice is you've got your case details at the top, and below it is a series of articles. Well, how does Salesforce Knowledge know which articles could possibly be matches? Well, the reason it knows is because it took the subject of your case and popped it into a keyword search and ran it for you. So all we did was click one button, and we already have a series of articles that could be possible matches. Now, we've got a few matches here, but I'd like to refine my search results even further. So I'm going to use the features on the left-hand side to allow me to refine my search results. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to specify a certain article type that I want to search on. So in the upper left-hand corner, under Search, right under the keyword search, you'll see a list of the article types we have available. Now, we can't see all of them at the moment, so I'd like you to click the Show More link. And because I'm looking to find out how are my flight tickets going to be delivered, there's a few here that I can uncheck. I don't want to see destination guide. I don't want to see advisory. The only two I want checked here is FAQ and how to. Those are the types of articles that are going to have the information that I need here. Okay? Once you've ensured you only have FAQ and how to checked, click the Go button. And you will find that your search results are almost halved. Okay? So a few less here. Now, that's a fairly manageable group, but I can even refine the search results more. Still on the left-hand side, but now in the lower section, I've got the ability to filter my results using those data categories that we set up. And the one that I want to filter on is the products pick list. And from within there, I'd like you to pick flights. As soon as you pick flights from that product pick list, you'll notice that your search results are even shorter now. So I've gone from a large group of possible matches now to just a handful. Okay? Now, looking through these, looking at the first one I can see, looking at the title, that might actually do it. How will my flight tickets be delivered? That's probably a good one. I can click on the name or the title and bring up the article, and notice it'll open it in a second browser. I can read through the details, and yes, that is absolutely the one that's going to help me. Now, before I close this window, I want to pay it forward. I want to help other people who could possibly be searching. So you'll notice in the upper right-hand corner, you have 5 stars, and I'm going to rate this article's usefulness. Now, here's how it works. If you click on the first star, the far left one, that'll give it a 1-star rating. If you click on the far right, you'll give it a 5-star rating, or anywhere in between. I'm going to give this one a 5-star rating because, yes, it sorted out my issue. So give it a 5-star rating, and then you can actually close that window. And that's going to return you to the Articles tab. Now, you've still got the articles down below, and you've got your case above. What I want to do is I want to attach this article to this case. Now, one of the benefits of doing that is, as a knowledge manager, I can run reports to say, show me the articles that resolve the most cases. That's very useful. What it can also do for my customers is, if we give them access to their own cases via the customer portal, they can go in and see the answer. So if they ever have that question again, instead of picking up the phone and calling us, they can say, well, actually, I did call about that once. Let me go in and see what the answer was last time. And they can see the article. So we've attached the article to the case. What I want to do now is I want to return to the case. And the fastest way to do that is above the list of articles, there's a link that says back to case 1013. I'd like you to click that link to return back to the case. You will now see from the articles related list that this case, or this article has been related to this case. Okay? And typically we then go close off the case. All right? All right. We've got one more thing we'd like to do. I'd like you to click on the Articles tab. So you can search for articles via a case, or you can do it through the Articles tab. And you can make this Articles tab available to all of your knowledge users. Okay. All right. So let me just run through the screen. Down the left-hand side, you've got the ability to put in a keyword search, to filter by article type, or to filter by data categories. And in the main window, you've got all the articles that meet those search results. Notice in that list, you've got different columns of information. Each user can customize their view using those columns. So you'll notice in the upper right-hand corner where Christina's expanding here, you've got the ability to specify the columns you'd like to see. The one I want to do is I want to include agent ratings. So where we just gave it a 5-star rating, I think that's useful information, and I want to see that sort of information in my screen. So from the columns pick list, choose agent ratings. Okay. Now you might need to resize the columns depending on how big your screen is. And notice that Christina's resized these, and now I can see the agent ratings down the right-hand side. I can sort by any of these columns. So if I sort by clicking on the agent ratings column, I can then see the highest rated articles. Now if I'm presented with a list of articles that could possibly meet my criteria, and I see one that's got a 5-star rating, and I see the ones that's got a 1-star rating, I'm going to go with the 5-star rating one first. Okay? Any user who has access to the knowledge application will be able to add and customize their columns so they can work the most efficiently. Okay? Well, let's recap that. So we went into a case, we searched for an article, and we used a couple different combinations here. It automatically did the keyword search for us, and then we refined our search results based on the article type and the data categories that applied. We rated the article. We rated it with a 5-star rating. We attached the article to a case, and then we specified the columns we wanted to see in our view of articles. All right. If you're interested in more information about knowledge, our Premier Training Catalog has several titles about knowledge. Okay? We also offer training, of course, to administrators, developers, and consultants. And I'd like to introduce my colleague here, Tyler. He is one of our training account executives, and he'll be standing in the back as you walk out of the room, and he'll be able to help you with talking about any sort of training courses that might be useful. Thank you very much. All right. Now I'm going to ask you guys to do one thing before I open it up for questions. If you would do me the favor of filling out a short survey, it won't take more than a minute, and then I'll open it up for questions. If you go to your Home tab, on the sidebar, if your sidebar's not showing, click on the dividing line or use Alt-S. Halfway down, there's a course survey link. And if you can't remember which class you're on, this is the Knockin Knowledge Out of the Park. And apparently that is some sort of baseball reference. So choose Knockin Knowledge Out of the Park, and I'll give you a minute to fill that out, and then I'll open it up for questions. Okay. All right. I'm going to open it up for questions now. If you have a question, Brendan, my faithful assistant, will bring the microphone to you. Please make sure you speak up. It's a very big room. And then I'll answer your questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi there. We're currently using solutions, and I'm really interested in articles. How portable is the current solutions to articles? Are we going to have to rewrite every solution, or?
Yeah, good question. So if you're already using solutions and you're interested in merging over to knowledge, absolutely. So you can use things like the data loader to export the data. The one thing you need to be aware of is typically solutions all have the same page layout and the same types of fields. In knowledge, you have the ability to have custom layouts and custom fields per article type, so you're going to have to take that into account. It's also something that our consultancy team would be happy to help you with, and if you're interested in that, go visit the success team area in the campground, and they can comment on that. But you can use something like Data Loader to help you with that. Okay? Thanks. Another question. We've got one over here.
If you rate an article and then want to change your rating, how would you do that?
Yeah, good question. At the moment, once you've rated the article, I'm afraid you've actually rated it. So it's kind of similar to when you're on Amazon and you've rated a product and you can't actually take your rating back. So unfortunately at the moment, once you've done it, that's it. So one thing I would do is when I'm training my users how to use it, make sure they understand that concept. Otherwise, they definitely need to be trained on that bit. I can't comment on whether it's going to change, but if it's something that you think is important, so if you don't think that's a great feature, go out to the Ideas Exchange and pop it out there. That way other people can vote on it. Okay? All right. Yes, over here.
In the case object, when using solutions, we had an action where when sending an email, it would import the solution as part of the email. Can you do the same thing with the articles?
Yeah, so are you using assignment rules? So the question was, when we associated a solution to a case, we could automatically email the details of it. Yes, that can be done, absolutely. Okay. All right, we've got another question in the back.
Just quickly about the case sensitivity and grammatical errors. Is there any corrective measures inside the system that'll highlight text errors and that sort of thing?
Okay, so let me make sure I understand the question. So is there a spell checker?
Spell checker, yeah.
At the moment, there is not a spell checker built into it. But again, I think that's a fantastic feature. I'd definitely publish that one on Ideas, and I'll vote for it. Because otherwise, one thing you can do, put it into some sort of text editor and then copy it back into it. Yeah, good. All right.
I have a question about the security.
Okay.
Right, we've been talking about a knowledge manager, but what if the whole team can the whole team create knowledge and only specific individuals are allowed to publish?
At the moment, if you give the users permission to have that article management tab, then they have the ability to create, assign, publish, and possibly even delete. So you might want to be a bit more careful about who you give access to that. But at the moment, it's kind of an all or nothing situation.
So you can't just remove the publish button?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
But we'll look into a future release. Hopefully we'll see that one. All right. We've got a couple more questions here.
For the customer portal, can you actually have the articles as a tab on there?
Yes, you can.
And it'll be the same view, searchable?
Yes. So for your customer portal, so that's one of the channels that we serve, and you'll be able to access the knowledge base through the customer portal. Yeah.
Can we add meta tags to the knowledge articles? Like, for example, if I want to create a specific meta description or add some keywords.
So was the question, can I have record types?
No, meta tags that you can attach to a technical article for better searchability.
Tags.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes. So tags are actually not part of knowledge itself. Data categories are being used differently because we actually want them defined not by users. We want them defined by the knowledge manager. So no, the answer to that question. I will get to you, I promise. Yeah, right back here.
Today with solutions we can support multiple languages. Is that supported here as well?
There is multi-language support, yes. You would set that in the settings of your knowledge base. Okay? We will get to you.
Is there a limit to the number of levels for the categories?
No, there is no limit on the number of data categories you can have at this point.
Okay, excellent.
You are, of course, limited by the amount of data you can have in your org, but you're not limited to the number of data categories.
Okay. I have another question about the ability to assign articles to a queue.
The ability to assign articles to a queue, at the moment, that is not a feature of knowledge. But again, let's pop that one into Ideas, because I think that's a really good one.
Okay, and the last one, recent items. Do the articles show up in the recent items on the left-hand sidebar?
That is an excellent question. You know, I don't know the answer to that. Christina, do you mind opening up the application so we can see if the article we looked at is in the recent items? Let's have a quick look. It doesn't look like that is showing up in the recent items. Yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. Yay, good. Thank you very much. All right, we've got a question up here. Or we'll get this one, and then next we'll go with this one up here, okay? Yeah, go ahead.
I had a question about past versions. We're kind of thinking about this as, you know, should we pursue this or a wiki type setup? One of the benefits of the wiki would be being able to see past versions of articles. Is that functionality enabled? So if someone were to edit it and I liked the old version more, to be able to go back?
Oh, okay. So being able to revert back to a previous version of the article. At the moment, I don't believe that is a feature, but you can take one article and then republish it differently and keep the old one. But no, it isn't a feature at the moment. Okay. All right, one more question? Yeah.
Is it available in the self-service portal as well as the customer portal?
It can be, yes. It can be made available in the self-service. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I just misspoke. So the question was, is it available in the customer portal and the self-service portal? At the moment, it's available in the customer portal. So apologies, I told you the wrong thing. We probably have time for one more question.
I just have a question about code snippets. Like if I put JavaScript code in there.
I'm sorry, you have a question about?
Like code snippets? Like if I want to put a code snippet into my article for like a developer to just basically copy that code snippet out, how does it treat like a JavaScript function that I put in there?
Oh, okay. So someone wanted to put a code snippet within the article. You'd actually be using Visualforce Pages if you wanted to put code into it. Is that what? Or are you just talking about text that you want? Oh, yeah, that's fine. That would be treated just as text. Yeah, that's just text. Okay. All right. If you have other questions, me and the other helpers will be standing around. We do need to get this room ready for the next session. So thank you very much for your patience and have a good rest of the conference. Thank you. Thank you very much.